You're tuned into All2ReelToo. Be sure to subscribe, download, share the show with a friend, and stop by All2ReelToo.com for our social links, Patreon, and TeePublic store info.
Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Fergal.
And we're from Movie Smash.
Comic book movies are having a golden age right now with the MCU.
Movies based on comics aren't necessarily a new thing, but they're a big thing.
Join us every other Tuesday on Movie Smash.
We explore these movies and find some hidden gems.
Every other week, we revisit some of the best.
And some of the worst movies based on comics or graphic novels.
Was Green Lantern as bad as you remember?
Heck no!
Is Time Cop the most accurate time travel movie ever created?
Absolutely.
Was Mystery Men way ahead of its time?
Should they be revisited? Should they be forgotten?
Join us on Movie Smash and find out. Listen wherever you find your fine podcasts.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All2ReelToo. My name is Michael E. Cullen II, and with me, as always, is
Sesame. Don't use untested chemicals to solve the problem of global warming. Give me back my chrono. I was going to use that in Carta.
okay. Are you feeling okay?
No.
Because that's a long name, man. I'm worried about it.
It's a long name, like a train, like a train of thought, yes. Just kind of extends, in all directions.
Yeah, some trains are long, like a train called the Snowpiercer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
Which is actually a lot shorter in the movie than it was in the graphic novel that it's based on. So, but
I would assume so. I mean,
yeah, it's like there's only 100 cars in this train, whereas in the graphic novel it was like 1,000 trains. Cars.
I mean, it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. And the graphic novel's a lot different though too. So, but we'll maybe get into that, maybe not. I don't know if I necessarily want to. So as you may have guessed, we are covering the 2013 film Snowpiercer, which according to the Internet Movie Database logline is in a future where a failed climate change experiment has killed all life except for the survivors who boarded the Snowpiercer, a train that travels around the globe. A new class system emerges. So yeah, there's that.
Yep.
This was directed by Bong Joon-ho, who is a multi-Academy Award winning. He's won 3 Academy Awards, mostly for the movie Parasite, which won Best Picture in 2019. Yes, this was his first English language film.
Cool.
It was written by Jacques Loeb. I think he was the writer of the graphic novel Le Transperciage. I don't speak French.
Okay.
So yeah, just letting you know that. It was also written by Benjamin Legrand, who wrote this. Looks like he's written a bunch of like other things, mostly like it looks like French films. So I'm not going to get into his filmography here. And then Jean-Marc Rochette, who wrote this and the TV series and a movie called King, some French word I can't pronounce. I'm an ignorant American. Let me be.
Let me be.
I'm an ignorant white American male, cis white American male. I don't got to learn me no French or Korean or any of that stuff,
If English was okay with Jesus, then English is okay with me.
Yes. All the greats spoke English, like Jesus and Gandalf and all those other people.
Yeah, my neurodivergent brain though is like always needs clarity, so I gotta do it. I'm sorry, just my brain is the original of that quote. It's actually, if English is okay with Apostle Paul, it's okay with me. But then it got reworked into Jesus because people they figured who's Apostle Paul, unless you're like a devout Christian, you're probably not gonna even know who that is. It's like so. You're like,
Well, he
who's
used to be
Paul?
called.
Who's this guy?
The thing is like, the Christians are okay to call the guy Paul that used to be called Saul, but they can't call Elliot Page by his preferred name.
Well, it's not that they can; they just don't want to because
I'm just saying. Yeah, I mean, well, they can also
them. I don't. What?
Yeah, they can also call John Wayne when his real name was Marion. But anyway, so
right. Oh,
so this movie stars. Yeah, this movie stars Chris Evans as Curtis, Jamie Bell as Edgar, Tilda Swinton as Mason, Song Kang-ho as Namgoon. Namgoon. I like I said, I don't speak Korean. Ed Harris as Wilfred, John Hurt as Gilliam, Octavia Spencer as Tanya, Ewan Bremer as Andrew, Ko Asung as Yona, and others.
Yeah.
Yes.
And others.
Yes. They're my favorite actor, and others.
It's a good one.
It's Anne. Her name is Anne Duthers.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yes. So, initial reaction to Snowpiercer.
I liked it a lot. I wasn't really expecting to like it necessarily, but it captivated me. It's one of those movies that's kind of long, but it doesn't really feel that long because the things are paced out kind of well. And I thought it was pretty neat. I might watch a TV show sometime. If I feel like it. But it was kind of cool. The concept I liked. They're literally just on a moving train, just never stops because it can't. Because what happens is basically the world froze over because the chemical that they were trying to use to help with global warming made everything super cold and froze everything. So,
what's global warming? I've never heard of this shit.
It's anti-global warming. Yeah. It's an anti-global warming. Yeah, hope. Yeah, whatever.
It's a hope. My God and Savior Donald Trump told me so.
Hey, right. The windmills, they got to destroy everything.
Yep.
They cause cancer.
Windmills are killing whales or something.
I guess
birds are flying into them and dying,
which sucks. Yeah, it happens sometimes.
I saw a bird once fly right into a window, so I don't know what to tell.
It sucks. I know. Windows. Sometimes they fly into jet engines. I mean, it's.
Should we get rid of planes?
I guess maybe.
Maybe we can get rid of that one the one from Cutter. But yeah, anyways.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
Good times in America. So I really liked this movie. I liked it a lot better than I thought it would. When it came out, I wasn't interested at all for some reason. I might have just been Chris Evans doubt or something at that time. I don't know what it was going on, but I didn't watch it.
He was in a lot of stuff during that time as Captain America, obviously.
But I did like it. So, what goes down in Snowpiercer town?
Everything. So we're kind of immediately introduced to what caused all this to happen. They're playing like old radio news clips of like, oh, they just came out with this new thing that's going to solve the global warming issue, and then they'll show another clip of like things are happening. Maybe we're in like a dangerous time now, and then we're introduced to our main characters, people who live in the way back of the train, the last cart. And they just live in squalor, and they had to eat these nasty black protein bars that they almost look like Jell-O though at the same time, like they're like nasty, flabby, and then like they don't have enough, and so they're always trying to like trade them, for other shit. Like, hey, can I have half of yours? I'll give you.
But there is always room for Jell-O though.
That's true. I actually made some Jell-O on the day before Thanksgiving. It was a family-sized one. So there's still probably some left over. But I know it's just unpopular. It's lime, and I like lime Jell-O. I like it. And so...
and lime Jell-O is actually good. I like lime. Lime and orange.
You put some or just if you put some whipped cream with the lime, it's interesting because like the whipped cream kind of offsets acidity a little bit, so it's like an interesting flavor having the whipped cream. You know how I figured that out, right? But I think I told you maybe a long time ago. Do you remember that movie? I'm not sure if we reviewed it or not. We may have a long time ago. It was called Sunset Strip was the movie, I think, and it was basically like about the rock, star area in the 70s. It was a fictional movie. Like this kid, he like moves to Los Angeles because he had a dream of Jimi Hendrix told him to move there and play guitar. I guess I don't know. And then
I don't remember.
There's a bunch of other stuff.
No.
I know we saw it, but I don't know if we reviewed it. Anyway, there's a scene in there where the guy, he's like, basically a starving artist. He's about to move back home because, it didn't work out. And he's at a diner and he's asked, if he could buy, order some Jello, the lime Jello. She's like, yeah, we got lime. He's like, that's fine. He's like, how much extra is for whipped cream? And she goes, oh, this. And, he doesn't have it much. He's like, oh, just I always have the Jello. So she gave him the whipped cream for free. And I was like, oh, you know what? I'll try that. I don't know if this kid's just being weird or whatever. So I went in there and I tried, like, oh no, the whipped cream actually does taste good on the lime Jello. So anyway, we already got off into a tangent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. It's yeah. That's weird. Okay. Anyways, I don't remember this movie at all.
I know we watched it once, but I don't know if we reviewed it. I mean, this was like I know it was on Netflix like 6 years ago.
I would remember if we reviewed it, but I don't remember watching it. But yeah, maybe we did. Okay. And I watched so many movies; it's hard to remember things. So
yeah, me too.
Yeah. So it's like the climate change stuff happened in like 2014 that they did this shit, and so the remnants of humanity all like go onto the state of the art Snowpiercer, and then there are some people that were like I guess stowaways on it or something, and that they end up in the tail section. Yeah, and one of them is Curtis, who is played by Chris Evans. He's kind of become the de facto leader of the tail section. Yeah, and he has this like mentor named Gilliam, who's played by the late John Hurt, not John Hurt. John Hurt. Yeah, John Hurt. I said his name and then it sounded wrong to me, and then I looked it up and I'm like, yeah, I'm right.
I was like, wait a minute, yeah, it sounded right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting too because like John Hurt was in 1984. He was the main actor in the movie.
Okay, that's cool.
So yeah, and then he was also like kind of the Nazi type leader in V for Vendetta. So he's like played all different types of people in this kind of post-apocalyptic sort of worlds. Yeah, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like they basically live like in squalor. It's really not really any accommodations whatsoever. I mean, there's no beds or anything like that. There's like hundreds of them all living there. They have to, like I said, they got these nasty ass protein bars. They have to count them every single day to make sure there's enough people or make sure no one's plotting any attack or whatever.
Yeah.
But eventually they're getting these messages within these protein bars. So again, they're not really bars. They're like gelatiny stuff. And so it's like coded like tonight's the revolution or whatever, type of thing. And so they're always looking for the kids, and we'll find out later why they're doing this. And so they take this one lady's kid named Timmy, and then I guess take a couple other kids. They end up taking this guy who was a Boston Symphony violinist. We find out later on why that happens as well. And we find out a lot of stuff from the beginning that eventually is revealed progressively over time. And so
there's a lot of Chekhov's guns in this movie.
A lot. I mean, geez, so many. It's hard to even keep track of. And they got these really bizarre punishments too. Like, so they would because it's like they stick this guy's arm out into the outside, so his arm freezes up, and then they just like cut off his arm basically because it's like nothing but like a frozen husk now. And then like she put like a shoe on his head. This lady who's kind of like the enforcer, I guess. I don't know what you would call her. Like the
her character's name is Mason. She's played by Tilda Swinton. She's Tilda Swinton is great in this movie. I mean, she's got like these weird teeth and everything that we find out later she can take out. So
yeah, it's a really interesting. I mean, they make her look so different than what she normally looks like. Like in Doctor Strange looks nothing like this character.
Yeah.
And she's like the I guess you would call her like the ideological enforcer. She's got, kind of like second in command type of leadership position to this guy named Wilford, who's like the guy who created the train. And he presumably still lives on the train, but he never actually appears anywhere. He always sends her out. And so then she put a shoe on that guy's head and was basically saying like, listen, doesn't it look weird having a shoe on someone's head? It doesn't belong on your head. It belongs on your foot, and everyone has a preordained place or status in this train, and the balance can't be changed. It's usually just what rich people say, because it's like there's no reason to have like that strong like of a caste system. Like even if you're like not gonna go full communist, even if you're gonna have at least some semblance of inequality. It doesn't have to be to the extreme of having people literally eat these nasty protein bars. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be that.
Yeah, but I mean,
like,
it's so sad that in our society things like this do happen.
I know.
You know, like the Holocaust or like what's going on in Gaza right now. It's just sad because we get to this point where you know, it's we're all human. If you prick me, do I not bleed? You know, the sort of whole thing with you know, I think that was Shylock in Merchant of Venice. Yeah. So yeah, which is a derogatory term now, but that character's name was Shylock. So I'm just saying it. So yeah, because he was talking about Jewish. He was talking about Jewish people, and it's like, you know, if you prick us, do we not bleed? Sort of thing. Yeah.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's just like, it is what it is. I mean, and there's no need to have them live in like that amount of squalor. You can still even things out to a degree where, yay, the rich people still get to be rich, yay. But at the same time, the other people don't have to like live just like completely poor either. Because we find out later on, as they go through each part, it just progressively gets more advanced and more just utopian, if you will, or just affluent.
Which is funny because it's almost like not even, I mean, like it really, I think it's like 50% of the wealth in our country is owned by like less than 100 people.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
It truly is insane when you think about, when you actually when you realize that. Yeah. And so they come up with this pretty awesome, this like battering ram, basically, is what it was, like piecemeal. And eventually, you know, tonight's the night, you know, New Year's Eve, you know, the revolution. And so they just start busting down, you know, these doors and you know, I mean, the gates or whatever. And they're just like, you know, for a while they're kicking ass, but of course, you know, it's not going to be that easy, obviously. And so they meet this guy who, he's obsessed with this drug called Crodol, which is basically just like this nasty, inflammable shit that's really not supposed to make you high, but it does because it's, you know, it's like artificial shit, right?
And he's like inside of a drawer, like sleeping, like they knock him out and put him in there.
They let him sleep in drawer. I don't know. Yeah, him and his daughter are in these drawers, and
because they free him. He's actually. Because see, the thing is what it is he's captive. He's being held captive. He's a security specialist who.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, basically he'd been captured by them because he worked for them, and then I guess he did something bad. I don't know if it's really spelled out per se.
They even say it. Yeah, and he wants to be paid in this Pronol drug because he's presumably an addict. We learn later on, you know, maybe that's not the reason why, but him as his daughter's there as well. You know, they give him his little, it's like these green little like pasty looking, like almost like clay, like almost like Play-Doh. Like it's like, that's what the texture kind of looked like. Maybe they actually used Play-Doh for it in the movie. I don't know, but that's what it kind of looked like.
I used to smell Play-Doh a lot as a kid. I never got high off of it.
No, it's got a weird smell. I always hated the smell of Play-Doh. I thought
it tastes salty.
You tried it before? You've tasted it?
Yeah, when I was a kid. Yeah.
It's salty? Interesting.
It's salty.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's cool. I hate the smell. Oh God, I can't even. Not even gonna think about it right now. But so there's kind of like a touch of supernatural in this movie too, because like apparently the guy's daughter's like clairvoyant, like she can sort of like see like or read like kind of see what's like ahead of her, and so you know she's like don't open this door. But they do anyway. And then I don't really quite understand what's going on with this. It's they're guys with like holding axes, but they have like these masks on. And so like they can't see. So I don't know, are they blind? Or I don't really quite understand what was going on with that. Like why the masks? Like I don't. And they were just like waiting there. So I don't know if they're just like high and they just like only respond when someone comes through a gate to fight them, or like I don't know. They didn't quite. Maybe like you said, maybe the graphic novel, maybe they explained things more. But like these guys were just like the way that they were standing, like for a second I thought they were zombies. Like they were just like almost like they were like dormant. Like they weren't even really. The
thing is, I think they may have been sent there because they knew that they were coming.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, because eventually they these guys were there and they they face these guards but Mason is with them and they end up holding her hostage and taking her with them. So yeah, maybe she would set them because she kind of probably knew what was going on or something.
Probably.
We find out later that we kind of know what was going on the whole time because of somebody else. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like a slow reveal. Yes, it will literally, each train cart they go, it's like a literal representation of like the class hierarchy.
Yeah.
Like you literally, each train cart is a little bit more nice. The people live better. And we eventually get to the part. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, we have one of them where there's like a teacher and a bunch of kids being educated in this car. And
this car, yeah, it's so weird.
It's like, I mean, it's set up just like basically like a regular school, like you would see anywhere. And it's like bright and colorful. And yeah, and Alison Pill plays the teacher in there, and she's pregnant as well. And yeah, and then it's just like all the people in the classroom are basically like, they're treating Wilfred like he's like Jesus Christ or something, you know? They just like, it's like almost like a religious school to this Wilfred guy. So yeah.
Kind of, because they said something about like his prophetic mind or something like that. So he's like a prophet. They have like
songs and poems about him and shit, you know. But yeah.
It's just crazy. And like, it's like this guy, Wilfred, like they showed like a little propaganda film about when he was a kid. He basically was like obsessed with trains his whole life. He wanted to live on a train when he was a kid. And so he pretty much like, he pretty much like built like a railroad that just goes throughout the whole world essentially. Like, and so, and then this train now, they have a thing called the Sacred Engine, which just goes on forever based on his design, his brilliant design or whatever. And now the world is frozen over, it has to keep moving. Otherwise, they're going to get stuck. And, you know, so every new year, they have to pass this like really rough spot that like the train always like runs into a little bit. And each year, I guess they just a little bit easier, but like it always kind of, you know, scares you a little bit because train might get knocked off its track, which happened a few times, almost tipped over when they were going through these like icebergs or whatever. Not icebergs, but like these snow ramparts, whatever you call them. And then eventually, they find, they kill the teacher because there was this theory before that they ran out of bullets. And so that the guards were just kind of using their guns to intimidate. But then when they try to force them,
even the teacher was packing them. So it's just like,
so basically what it was is that they probably didn't run out of bullets, but they were conserving them. Like you know what I mean? Like they probably were gone completely, but they weren't just going to use them all the time, you know?
Yeah, because they were like hidden under a bald man brings eggs in for the children to celebrate the train's 18th time around the earth. And but there's like this big, like basically like a wheelbarrow full of eggs, but there's guns and shit underneath it, and the teacher grabs one, and she received a gun from the bald man, and she kills one of the guys from the tail end, and then you know, and then she ends up getting killed.
Someone threw a dagger at her or a knife or something in her eye, which, you know, kind of sucks. You know, like he's like killed like a pregnant woman, so you know the baby's now dead too.
And one of the henchmen, his name is Franco. He ends up broadcasting this execution of Gilliam over the TVs in the classroom while they're there. And so yeah,
he's a dude that was like kind of like almost like the spiritual leader.
He's like
of like Curtis was like the Curtis was like the political leader of the group, and Gilliam was kind of like the mage or the wise, whatever, the wise person, you know,
the Obi-Wan Kenobi,
somebody you would come to for like moral guidance or things like that. And they killed him execution style because they brought him back. They brought him there pretty much just right before the revolution began.
Yeah, but after they see Gilliam die, Curtis then executes Mason.
Right. So she's gone. She's just boom. I shot her right in the head, basically. And it's just like this movie kind of like it just like it's one of those things where it's like I understand that like you're probably never gonna get to like a society where there's like 100% equality, but like the inequality doesn't have to be that extreme. Like you could like the quote unquote poor could be like if we actually made things a little bit more equitable. Again, not 100%. I don't want to scare all the anti-communists who might be listening, but to a reasonable extent, the poor could be like what we have now would be like considered like the upper middle class for what is now, basically.
Yeah.
That would be, quote, the poor.
See,
if we actually like made things a little bit more equal, the quote unquote poor what we consider now upper middle class, which is a good life. Like it's, there's really nothing, not really wanting for anything.
The way I look at it is, okay, so when I was younger one time, I went to a Papa John's, and at the time I wanted a small pizza. This will all make sense in a second. And they did not have small.
I know the story.
They did not have small pizzas. They said that their sizes were medium, large, and extra large. Okay, so I tried to explain to them that the word medium meant middle, so they couldn't be their smallest size. So, but I think in our society right now, we have extra small, small, medium, large, and extra large. Those are groups of society that we have.
Yeah.
We're getting more and more money is going to the extra large people. So what we need to do is actually do the Papa John's thing and get rid of our small
and extra small. Start it.
Extra small. Yeah.
Because the thing is, it's like economists have done this over and over and over again, where they've pretty much have found out many times over that there's enough wealth in this entire world for every single person on Earth to live a comfortable, like not just bare subsistence level, like a comfortable life. And that's even without making everybody equal. That's even if you still have a class of people who are considered to be the mega rich. So rest assured, you rich people, you still get to live large and be above everyone else and make yourself feel superior. But while at the same time, the people that you're lording over aren't living in complete abject misery. Is that a good deal? No, they don't think it's a good deal, but it's possible. And because part of it is that they like the fact that people are miserable. That's part of that what gets them off. Being rich isn't enough. They need people.
The problem with them is that they can't feel good about themselves unless other people are suffering.
It is. It's like the religious fundamentalists who,
it's the same thing. It's because within their hearts, they don't really have that acceptance of understanding that they can love themselves regardless of anything. So the only way for them to love themselves is to demean others. And then this movie really points that out in a way too. It's just, like
a very literal. So what else happens after they kill Mason?
So at one point too, the Namgoon and Yona keep seeing this landmark outside of this plane, and they keep speculating that the ice might be thawing more because they keep seeing more of the plane every year. So that's something to keep in mind. So after Mason is killed and Gilliam is killed, Curtis group keeps moving on, but this Franco guy keeps up to them and he kills both Gray and Tanya, who were looking for their kids. So and so we keep dwindling down our tail end revolutionaries. So in the last compartment before they get to the engine, Namgoon reveals that the reason he's collected the chronal was to use it as an explosive to escape the train with Yona, believing they can now survive outside. And I mean, Yona is one of the reasons that she thinks that she could is because her mom was an Inuit. So it's like, who live outside in the cold. So then Curtis explains this horrifying story that in the early days of the train, the tail section had resorted to cannibalism, and his right-hand man, Edgar, who had been killed by this point, he was an infant. Basically, there was a point where he basically let Edgar die so he could get more forward in the trains and stuff. I can't remember exactly what happened, but
basically he was going to try to chase Mason so that she couldn't get free or come back to fight the other guy. But realistically speaking, he would not make it in time to save Edgar. He would the guy would have killed him anyway. But the fact that he still made the choice to live, because Edgar kind of looked really betrayed right before, he was killed. And pretty much this guy fucked over Edgar his entire life, essentially, which is horrible.
So we find out that Edgar was an infant when Curtis had killed his mother because they were cannibalizing people to eat them. And Curtis was going to eat Edgar, but Gilliam offered him his own severed arm instead to eat, to try to stop the bloodshed. So Curtis wanted to, confront Wilford for basically causing such horrors. Wilford's assistant Claude comes out, and she basically invites Curtis inside. Curtis ends up meeting Wilford, who's like this old man, normal dude in there. And then he ends up learning that this whole time, Gilliam has been conspiring with Wilfred to stage the rebellion because they need a rebellion every so often to, keep the population sustainable.
I wonder about that. I wonder if he was lying about that, though, just to kind of piss off Curtis. Because, why would someone cut off their own arm? Do they really care that much about the society that they're willing to cut your own arm off?
Well, I mean, my thing with it is it's like basically you can get to the point where for a little bit of extra something here and there and power and stuff, you might give into the fascism above you.
I mean, but he still lived at squalor the whole. It wasn't like he was getting like extra shit. He was still living amongst the way it was implied is that he would have long conversations with Wilfred, and he may have been getting some extra stuff.
Okay, that we don't really see. So that's my feeling on it, is that it was good intentions, but he also was conspiring because he was given a little bit extra.
Maybe. Yeah. But so cutting off your own arm, that shows some dedication to.
Well, I don't see. The thing is, I don't think that at that point he was working with Wilfred.
Oh, I see.
What I think it is that he was corrupted afterwards.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah,
because other people were doing the same stuff after Gilliam. They started cutting off their own arms and legs to basically offer them up as food. And so you have a lot of amputees living in in the back,
tail section. Yeah,
the back tail section of the train, which is it's pretty touching. It's like self cannibalism at that point, or offered cannibalism. But it was pretty graphic because he's talking about how humans taste and the babies taste better. It's like, oh my god,
it was so disgusting. He's like, because that made me sick when I was listening to it. It's like, because he just says, I know what people taste like, and it's just like, oh my god,
I know. And babies taste the best. Oh Jesus,
yeah.
Oh god, I'm kind of glad that he didn't really survive, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I know.
Because he wasn't really that great of a guy. I mean, he sacrificed so many people.
He wasn't always. He became a good guy, but it was just like he was kind of like he's not really a hero as much as he's an anti-hero. It's kind of like
Yeah.
Basically, Gilliam kind of not Gilliam. Wilfred, after he had conspired with Gilliam, he's basically trying to reduce the tail section's population to sustainable levels. So after he orders the execution of most of the tail section residents, he ends up offering Curtis his position to lead the train. So he would become the new Wilfred, basically. And then Curtis is he almost appears ready to accept it. And then Yona, she's overpowering. Her dad had been knocked out. So at this point, she overpowers Claude. She rushes in and asks for a match. And so in desperation, she pulls up a floorboard to reveal that Tanya's son, Timmy, has been enslaved to work as a replacement for a broken machine part. Yeah. He wasn't even replacing another kid. He was replacing a broken machine part.
Which I don't really understand what he was doing down there.
Basically, I think he was just there to move something so the engine kept moving.
Oh, okay. I was like, I couldn't really see.
There's probably something mechanical that used to do that, but he's down there because he's so small, he can get down there and do it. And you can't stop the train. The thing is, you can't stop the train to fix it and replace the part.
Right. Because
you can put a little 5-year-old kid in there to, it's like.
Right. But at the same time, you got to think that this kid has to eat and sleep at some point. So how is that even
we see other kids
possible?
We do see other kids at some point too. So,
all right, yeah.
Well, I'm thinking that they might do it in shifts or something.
Probably, yeah. That's probably what's going on. Wow, what a great story! Wow, this is so fucked up. That's worse than 1984.
I know it is. Curtis then, he beats up Wilfred to rescue Timmy from the machinery. He loses his own arm in the process. It's another, amputee situation, which is very Star Warsy.
A very symbolic, because now he's offering up his arm.
And it's very. It just reminded me of Star Wars, how the Skywalkers always lose their arms and shit.
Right, yep.
Yeah. So in the process, though, we see Andy, who is Andrew's missing son. He crawls out of a nook and climbs into the engine core, despite Curtis telling him, don't do that. And so he's basically so like brainwashed that he believes that he has to do this, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And but then Curtis gives Yona the match to light the fuse for the chronal bomb. Then Namgoon comes back to, he wakes up and he fights and kills Franco, who's coming in, who's followed them. So the engine room door cannot be closed, forcing them to use their bodies to protect the younger two, Timmy and Yona, from the blast. And the blast triggers an avalanche that derails and wrecks the train, killing basically everybody except for Yona and Timmy.
Yeah.
And they escape. They see a polar bear in the distance, indicating that life exists outside of the train.
And then the polar bear kills them basically probably near the end.
And did not die out. Yeah,
so,
that's what I'm thinking.
And so basically that's the whole movie is that, we made out the train. Now we see a fucking polar bear. Now it's probably going to maul us. Yay, we did it.
We don't know that. But my other thought is there other humans alive out there, or does Yona have to wait to repopulate the Earth? Wait for Timmy to grow up to the point of puberty so they can repopulate the Earth.
That's what I was what I was thinking. I'm like, that's no, come on, that's no, please. That's why I was worried. I'm like, why can't you?
The director kind of insinuated that that's what ends up happening later on. So in an interview, so
it's like, why you should have had Curtis survive at the very least.
Yeah.
So he could do it. Because I don't even want to think about that because, I
understand the imagery though of the thing is having the children survive because Yona's 17 and Timmy's 5 or whatever. So yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah,
but
still, it's like.
But that's something you don't have to think about. I mean, the thing is it might happen in the future. You don't know. So.
I know, but it's but the polar bear probably killed them because the polar bear is probably hungry. And it's like, oh, cool.
But my other thing is if the polar bears survived, did any other humans survive outside too? Though that's what I'm wondering.
I don't know. I mean, polar bears are they're built for that kind of weather, so it's they might survive just fine because that's just what they're used to. But I mean, I don't know because like you said, those people they're called the Rebel 7 who try to escape the train and they're just literally frozen in place because they only got a few hundred yards.
One of them was Yona's mother. So yeah.
Right. And so they're still frozen in place. So you got to think, and maybe there were some underground bunkers, maybe that people are living under, 'cause I know people build bunkers and shit. And,
it could be anything.
People living. Yeah, there could be.
It'd almost be interesting to see a sequel to this movie to find out what happened to, Yona and Timmy and everything. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
And do we really know what the whole world was frozen? I mean, you got places in Africa. Yeah. They still probably not. I mean, maybe they're not as warm as it used to be, but
it's hard to say. But supposedly the train, circumvents the Earth once a year. So it's I don't know. But not everyone gets to see the outside. Yeah. So maybe when they pass the parts that aren't completely frozen, maybe they're not even allowed to see that part because then they'll know that maybe they can actually live outside of the train, at least potentially. Because interesting. It's kind of like people. It's kind of like the idea of people in a cult don't know that they're trapped in a cult because they're not allowed to see things from the outside world and stuff. So they don't know what other options they have. So it could be something similar to that.
And this Wilfred guy, he is a cult leader in a sense. He's not just the guy who runs the train. Like you said, they got propaganda videos about him teaching it to the little school kids. I mean,
So do you want to hear an interesting theory about Snowpiercer?
Yeah, sure.
So there's a fan theory that Snowpiercer is actually a sequel to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh my God. Why? I mean, how?
I don't know. There's a whole YouTube video about it that I watched the other day, but here's a breakdown from AI that told me about it too. There's a fan theory suggesting that Snowpiercer is a sequel to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, where Charlie Bucket grows up to become Wilfred, the antagonist in Snowpiercer. This theory highlights the thematic and structural similarities between the two films, including their focus on class structures and survival. So the connections between the fan theory overview, a popular fan theory suggests that Snowpiercer is a sequel. This theory is known as Wonka Piercer. It posits that Charlie Bucket, the protagonist of Willy Wonka, grows up to become Wilfred. Okay, so what happens is so the character evolution is that Charlie Bucket inherits Willy Wonka's legacy and adopts the name Wilfred Wonka. This is a crazy theory. Wilfred creates the Snowpiercer train to save humanity from climate disaster, reflecting a darker evolution of Charlie's character. The theory suggests that Wilfred's methods become increasingly ruthless, mirroring the darker aspects of Willy Wonka's world. So both films explore class structure and consequences of isolation. Characters from Willy Wonka may reappear in Snowpiercer with parallels drawn between figures like Slugworth and Gilliam and Veruca Salt and Minister Mason. This theory provides a fascinating lens through which to view both films, highlighting their thematic connections and character transformations. So yeah, there's more to go into this, but it's an interesting thing to think about that this is a sequel to Willy Wonka.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. It reminds me of the one too where someone was saying that the Breaking Bad was somehow connected to what was it, some other there's something to do with the Walking Dead and the Breaking Bad, like some theory that like the methamphetamines cause people to become zombie or some shit. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Like, okay, it's kind of weird.
These theories are interesting. I mean, I recommend looking more into it if you're interested in fun, weird conspiracy theories, but that are harmless to the actual world.
Not the ones that actually like cause like real danger and like political instability and stuff like that. You know,
I'd be more happy if more people were into the Wonka Piercer theory as opposed to like the flat Earth theory or racism. Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, any other thoughts about this movie before we wrap things up?
No, not really. It's just it's just an interesting film. I would probably watch it again. Sometime.
Might check out the TV series eventually after I'm caught up on other shows that I'm watching. So yeah. But yeah, if you've seen the TV series and the movie and want to comment about it below this video, if you're watching it on YouTube, if you're listening on YouTube, I should say, because you're not able to see us, because to show my beautiful visage every week would just make everybody else feel insecure.
It would crash YouTube.
Yes.
It would just go on, boom. It would just...
everybody would just be looking at my face and how beautiful it is and not even listening to what we're saying. So I'd rather you listen to us.
Yeah. It reminds me, I was just watching this video last night from Nation Squid about the time that YouTube got hacked and people, all like thousands of people's videos, the thumbnail got changed to like some random like Japanese musician guy or something like that.
Yeah.
It'll just be you. You hack YouTube and like all these YouTube thumbnails just become your face. And you can't change it. It's just there.
That's what'll happen.
Yeah.
So but basically, comment below on YouTube or make a comment about this episode on Spotify or wherever else you can. Give us a 5-star review there too. That'd be great while you're at it. Or anywhere that you can. Comment on our social media. That'd be cool too. Go to all2reeltoo.com to find the links to all that shit. We got our TeePublic there. We've got our Patreon. Those are good ways to help support the show. I don't want to force you to do anything, but if you love me and you love Sesame, just do it. Just remember that trans lives are human lives. No human is illegal. Fuck ICE. Free Palestine. Be different. Be yourself. Remember that I love you. Luckily, I don't know what people taste like.
Me either. That's good. Yeah.
And Sesame loves you.
I do. True.
And until next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All2ReelToo podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.
This next one's for all you CarMax shoppers who just want to buy a car your way.
Wanna check some cars out in person? Wanna look some more from your house? Okay.
Want to pretend you know about engines?
Nah, I'll just chat with CarMax online instead.
Wanna get pre-qualified from your couch?
Woo!
Wanna get that car?
Hey, SAP!
You wanna do it your way.
Want to drive? CarMax.
On January 9th, Greenland 2 is making an impact across the globe. Hang on! Audiences rave. It's deeply emotional and better than the first.
I wanted you beginning first, Bob.
You'll be holding your breath from start to finish.
Oh my God! Grab onto something!
Greenland 2, Migration, rated PG-13.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast. Terms apply.